What's up guys, how's it going? NH Raven here, bringing you another deck profile. Today we are going to talk about a deck that I'm seeing a lot of people get hyped about, and that deck is Hoenna Sola. This is a very interesting deck that's kind of came out of the woodworks. We saw it back in intro deck format actually. Back during the Columbus Regional, it ended up taking first place, but it's back. It has new life with all the new support from the Betrayal booster pack, and we're going to get into this deck profile in just a second. Just a quick reminder, guys, sub up to the YouTube, really help support, and hop into the Discord. We're going to have a lot more deck profiles, lots of cool content coming out, so make sure you get in there so you get notifications for that kind of stuff. Everybody's been hyping this deck up for the Indie Championship that's going to be happening in just a couple of weeks here, so let's get into the deck profile and let's talk about it. First, you have Hoenna Immoral Conjurer. When you destroy a tower or unit in battle, place one counter on this token. So what this is a token spam deck. You can remove 3 counters, put a golem into play for 1500 attack power, and overall, you're basically just going to sit on these tokens until late game. Irgon Sylvia was a deck that basically showed up the most and got the most attention back at the Gen Con 5K and Regional. It was pretty much set up as the deck that everybody needs to beat, and this deck can definitely do that. So the big thing about this deck is do not get rid of these counters until you really need to get rid of them. They are a great endgame push, and they also can be utilized to make sure you're getting all of your effects off with the other golems. So the spirit that you're playing is Sola. Everybody loves this little cat here. The ability to Soul Burst, flip it on out, Guardian, block an attack, but that's not really what you're using it for in this deck. You're utilizing its main ability a lot more of unexhausting one of your units to put it back to active, keeping your units live to beat over your opponent's units and keep control of the board is huge in this deck. You don't even want to always be attacking the towers. You actually want to keep your tempo and keep control of the board, and then swing late game when your opponent has exhausted all of their resources. So let's get into the main deck here. First, we are starting off with Raging Shardbeast, the meta changing card coming out of the first expansion pack. This card is huge. 1-drop, 2k beater. It's a little bit different. In most other decks, you're going to want to swing at towers right away, but like I said, with this card, you're actually going to want to hold it. You're going to want to utilize this to attack over what your opponent is attacking with, and just get those counters onto Hoenna as fast as you can and hold them up for late game. Next, we got Failed Golem 1. It's just another beater 1000. When it is ruined, you can throw the Golem of Allurement to steal your opponent's units into the discard if you do not have one in your hand. Overall, you can throw the other toolbox golems into your graveyard to make the Yamis live, but it's just a 1-drop. Make sure you trying to make sure you get a playoff turn 1. Next, we are going into Delayed Poison. This card is absolutely nuts, guys. There was some rulings. Basically, any card that says it cannot be targeted by a spell or ability, this card, even though it technically targets, it doesn't. It says target on the card, but it's an augment, and there are no cards currently that say they cannot be targeted by an augment. So it gets around all that stuff. It's a 1-drop. It also kills at the beginning of your opponent's next turn. So you just attach it, end your turn, whatever you attach it to dies. It's absolutely bonkers, guys. 3 of in every dark deck going forward. You cannot not play this card for 1 cost. It gets through so many things. It's so good. Next, Golem of Devourment. You guys know him. You'll love him. He annoys the crap out of you. Basically just a blocker that recycles himself. Very self-explanatory. Solid card. Lets you just control the board. Make sure you don't lose towers early on. Next is Yami. Special summoning things from grave, and if you use them late in the game, you're also dealing 1000 damage. Solid card. You can get it for Rudy. You can use Allurement to steal their low cost units. You're stealing Shardbeast for days, stealing all the yellow 1-drops, any 1-drops. It's a great card, comboed with Allurement, and really solid. Also have the toolbox for Avarice in there too if you want to make them discard a card late game. Very good card. Next, we got Golem of Jealousy. It's just, if there's another Golem out, you just draw 1 card. It's just a toolbox. That's why we play it at 1. Next, you have Dusk Strike. Dusk Strike, very, very strong removal card. Deals 2,500 as long as you have that dark unit on the board. You're always going to have a dark unit on the board. If you really, really need to, you can even cheese one in with some tokens as well with all of these arrive effects. But this card's just some good spot removal. Quick play, very strong. Next, Hidden Laboratory. When I first read this card, I was like, it's okay, but when you play with this card, you realize it's so strong, guys. So strong. When it arrives, you basically get a free summon with Hoenna late game, and then its exhaust to sacrifice the golem to draw a card is game-changing. You don't realize it until you play the deck, but say you're attacking, they block. You can exhaust it to draw a card. They've already exhausted their guardian, so it's gone. You're getting through it. You're drawing one. You can use it on all the tokens, so you don't even have to be summoning things. It's very, very reactive. When they're bouncing your units, trying to destroy your units with anything, you can exhaust them, and instead of just losing your things, you're drawing off of it. So you're not losing your unit. You're losing your unit, but you're drawing a card where they're being forced to play their mana, play their resources, and this card is insane. Next, Golem of Allurement. This is a huge meta call card for every dark deck going forward, guys. It steals the Shardbeast, which is going to be played in pretty much every single deck from here on out. It steals all the one-drop units, and it's just a great card comboed with Yami, stealing things on the end phase so they can swing. It's very, very good. You got to play it at 3 in every dark deck going forward. Next, we got Rudy. You know him. He's double arrive effects. The whole deck stacks up arrive effects like crazy on almost every single unit. And all the arrive effects on these are really, really good, comboed with Golem of Avarice, making them discard 2, Golem of Jealousy, you get to draw 2. We got Golem of Vengeance, make them discard up to 4. Crazy, crazy card. So yeah. Next, Golem of Avarice. Just another toolbox card, a one of. Make them discard a card. You got Rudy up there discarding 2. It's pretty good. Next, we got Golem of Indolence, going with that tempo. Big mentality for this deck. Target attacks can attack over units. Gets that arrive big quickness to get over any card that's out there that might be causing problems. Pumps himself all the way up to 3.5k. So very, very solid one of in the deck. Then we got Soul Transfer. So we play Soul Transfer over Brainwipe Beam because it's spot removal. There's tons of situations where it's better specifically in this deck. Imagine trying to steal a Yuki for 2k. They pump it up with Liam and you can't steal it no more. So Soul Transfer just gets rid of a unit, lets you cheese in something from your grave. You can bring in an Allurement to steal another unit. It's very strong, guys, and if they got a big boy out there, a 6-drop or something, you can even get Vengeance off of it. It's very good in this deck. We're playing 2 of it, trying it out. A lot of your units are low cost, so that is what we're thinking for some extra spot removal there. Then we got Golem of Vengeance. We play it at 2. 3 is a little bit too bricky. 1, you don't see as much as you want, and the ability to go through your opponent's hand, potentially pick 4 cards out. Insane. It's a destroyer too, so if it sticks it can get some push late game, and this card, if you drop it, a lot of the time you're just winning the game, getting to see your opponent's hand, pick out the cards you want. Very, very strong. Next we got, going into the white cards, Yuki. Yuki's an absolute hoss, guys. Yuki comes out, target attacks your opponent's board into oblivion. You're basically making sure with this deck that you're swinging through the entire board, getting rid of anything that they summon, and Yuki just does a great job of that. Getting it early, turn 2 is insane in the deck. So yeah, 3 of for sure. Holy Slash, we're having Holy Slash at 3 right now. We might change it for Astonishing Betrayal, but right now we're sitting with Holy Slash, just some more spot removal. They attack with a unit. You can use it on Raging Shardbeast turn 2, save yourself a tower, things like that. Just a strong card, late game for 2 mana, killing things that attack is very good. And then we got Omega Magic Hikari. This card can be utilized in different ways. If you're playing against really aggro decks, you can kind of let them break 3 towers. If you see 1 or 2 of these in your hand, you can use the Hikari aggressively late game, summoning them on the end phase and then swinging for thousands is really, really, really good. Just a utility card, a very, very good yellow card. And yeah, so that's the main deck, guys, for the Shard deck. We play 3 Hallowed, 6 Argents, and then Corona, just being able to flip for that extra utility late game to pop something to go for game. Very, very strong. So yeah, overall, guys, I really think that this is a deck that everybody should be prepared for going into the Indianapolis Championship. I think it's going to be very strong, and it really gets around a lot of the big decks right now. Target attacking through the yellow decks, the Liam decks. You gotta play it right. You gotta be careful. If you can stop their tempo or their rush early, get a holy slash off early, and then start stealing all their units, you have a great matchup there. You have a good matchup against Irgon Kite because they can't Sylvie on your turn, so you just go in with the tokens at the end. Overall, I think this deck's going to be a real threat, so I was happy to share it with you guys, and you should all test it out and see how you like it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. We're going to have tons more content coming out in the future, tons more decks that we think we're going to see in Indy. So make sure you guys sub on up, hop in the Discord, and thank you so much. Peace out, guys. Bye.